when I look on the net and I see you and Fifth not really moving right, it's like, damn, because that was just such a special time and place. Thinking back to that, even before '03, even before Get Rich, like '02, and then everything that comes before there, man. And I listened to this record on the new project Ashtray, and because when I hear back on my Buck shit, and I know the type of chamber that you go into. It's a when you do these projects, it's a more intense Young Buck than what we hear. So when I was getting to the project, I was coming in with an open mind, but I was like, damn, it's gonna be like a lot of disses, or just gonna be, because y'all masters at that whole camp, that y'all masters at that. But when I listened to Ashtray, it wasn't like coming from a vengeful place. It was actually just coming from more of a reflective place, almost like, damn, I'm kind of hurt that somebody who I considered a brother, or somebody who I may still consider a brother, has did different things to hurt me.
I mean, it's exactly where I choose to come from. Exactly what you said, Shaheem. I feel like I've done enough dissing. Niggas know what I stand for, whether it's in the music, in the streets, in the penitentiary. You dig what I'm saying? So for me, nobody wins, in a sense of what I've came to understand when I'm going at a nigga who did give me opportunity. The only thing I can see that can actually win is giving a nigga the facts from where I stand at. It's no more of Buck, playing the game of saying this and that about you. We can play that game all day long with each other. Like you say, we masters of it. Just like he's the master of doing a lot of diss records and a lot of extra shit. I'm the master in a lot of extra shit my goddamn self. But there's no win in it. What I'd rather do was, speak on the situation, because our situation was always based on business shit, no extra bullshit, and see what it does. If there's a common ground that can be found to stand on, I'm there for it. But I feel like G Unit was a real era for me, and it was something that I learned a lot from. And I'm at a place now where I'm more old, I'm more mature, I'm more wiser. Like you say, a lot of my records were emotional driven records, whether it was the shit that he was doing in regards of trying to fuck over my career or saying or whatever the case. And I deal with a lot of this shit from an emotional standpoint. I just choose to take all that shit out. You dig what I'm saying? All of the emotional side of things, and get that shit from a real place. You know what I'm saying? Because, I've tried to handle a lot of my shit in regards to G Unit or 50 the real way. Whether it was me stretching out, trying to speak to him face to face, or on the phone, or through the lawyers. I went through all of that shit, only for it to be pushed at me the way that y'all see it. You did. It's not like I was a nigga that just sit here, tradition and all of that shit that happened, and that person. You dig now, man. He made certain claims in regards to my career about me, supposedly owing him $350,000. I tell him, show me a receipt, and I'll pay it to you. In the beginning, it was $300,000. Once I think the means of him seeing that, hold on, homie, if that's the case, then I'll if you can show me that, you understand, then we can work that out and get that out the way. But once I even went down that lane and trying to carry things out, Fifth is he got his own way in doing shit. It went from you owe me $300,000 to me saying, okay, give me the receipts of it. It got to be some kind of real behind this money that you claim I owe. Just show it to me, because I don't recall a lot of this shit that you claiming or making claims for. Well, that led to him saying, I want 350,000, and you sign over your whole catalog, everything that you created. It also led to him sending cease and desist to YouTube, and got my YouTube pages and shit took down, shit to Apple Music, just basically trying to silence me. So for the longest, I haven't been able to actually give the world no music without 50 actually making a beeline to getting it took down or doing whatever he can to kind of keep me out the way. And that shit opened me up to realize that I'm not gonna feed him the dis energy or the negative energy at this point in my career. The only thing I can do is lay the facts there. And like I say, if it's a common ground that can be found to be stood on, then cool. But I'm so focused on moving forward from that shit. I really don't see us, pushing the way we once pushed at all. It's too many bridges been burnt, too much extra shit and not enough realness been put into the situation. So I just kind of at a place now where I just wish him, do what you do, homie, and I'm gonna continue to do what I do, and like I say, that's just where it's at. I have no issues with Banks or Yayo or any of the other niggas that may be around G Unit, but G Unit is Young Buck Banks, you know what I'm saying? Tony Yayo and 50 Cent. All the other guys and shit that became a part of G Unit. They even Game didn't become a part of G Unit as a crew. He became a part of G Unit as to the label. So he had his situations, I think, with 50. It was kind of a blessing for him because you had Dre in the middle. You understand what I'm saying? And he wasn't fully signed to G Unit. So some of the things I had to endure once we had misunderstandings, it just couldn't get done to him from a business standpoint. You dig what I'm saying? But for me, my whole career, in a sense, was brought to G Unit. I was signed directly to G Unit. And G Unit was signed to Interscope. So, he controlled a lot. And a lot of those things that I deal with or dealt with strictly business related. Any of my problems that I had was based on the business. It wasn't anything outside of the business. So I just want to make sure the fans don't fall. That's what it's been for a long time in regards to me and 50's issues. It's just been smoke and mirrors. What he choose to give to the world out of his mouth, or the jokes and the games that he play with bullshit. That's what the smoke is. But the real deal of it all is just about business. It's just about me saying, hey, look, you encourage me and the rest of the guys to go handle our own business. Okay? Not just me, myself. You encourage Yayo, Banks, and all us, in a sense, to go and do things like get management together and things like that. These things that I've already done throughout my career from the beginning. So for me, it was easy to do. You dig what I'm saying? And even when I done that, it's still things that I still needed to get in place. So something as small as getting my publishing in place revealed a lot. I end up hiring an individual to go get my publishing in place, only to find out that, my 33 and a third % was going somewhere. Basically, something as small as a sound exchange had 3 years of checks that had just been sitting, 6 figures, since 2015. And this is around 2018, 2019. And they like, hey, we've been looking for you, man. Why'd you stop cashing your checks? And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? I ain't never cashed a check the check's been getting sent to, G Unit Incorporated. And that right there opened up a door to everything else. So, truthfully, I'm not even gonna get on this platform and give nothing other than facts. But the fact of it is that, all I was looking for at the time was answers. Yo, bro, what's this? Where's this at? Or why this happened? But once he was alerted by somebody like Sound Exchange, and told that going forward I will receive my own 33 and a third percent. Then from there, the neglect started immediately. Blocked my phone calls, blocked me from this Instagram and all the social media platforms. And then started this shit, man, as far as renting and trying to I guess slaughter my name for whatever it was worth or whatever the fuck he felt, you know. And that shit right there, it kind of took effect on me because it was like, hold on, homie, I'm only doing what you told me to do, what you encouraged me to do. And now that I may have questions about business or, you know, looking for answers about certain shit, you know, it leads to you, you know, trying to destroy me and silence me in a sense. So the shit led me all the way up to having to file fucking bankruptcy. And that's how the people are able to hear me because technically, you know, everything that he was doing was stopping me from working. And homie, I got kids to feed just like he do. But his approach was to stop me from being heard. And I think what that did was created and breeded the fans to want to hear Buck even fucking more because they can see this shit. They can hear the truth. You understand what I'm saying? And I've yet to hear it from him in regards to my situation, not the bullshit. Answer the facts of the situation, whether we do it face to face or on one of these platforms. But it's just questions and look, they need answered. And he may have some too. But I'm man enough to face anything that I put myself in front of, period. And he should be the same. I'm never here to take away from him being or not being a real nigga. Let me say that much. Because he's got a upbringing from the streets no different than I do. You dig what I'm saying? And I've always been my own man. I've never been a yes man to 50. I've always been one that he know he could turn to and get a real answer from. If I like it, I like it. If I don't, I don't. If I fuck with dude, I fuck with dude. If I don't, I don't. So our issues kind of came about in different areas. But overall, homie, it's just strictly based on business at this point. And, you know, who knows what the future holds. But I just don't see me at 50, you know, rocking out like we once did. It's a lot of damage being done. I do see 50 continuing doing him and me continuing doing me, though, for sure.
Yeah. It seemed... Well, one more thing I'm gonna ask, and then you know I want to move on because there's so much to unpack with this album. But you know, this week was the big media splash by Kirk Franklin and his son. You know, when his son recorded Kirk Franklin, unbeknownst to Kirk Franklin, and you know, Kirk Franklin was cursing his son out. They were having a heated exchange. The son said some disrespectful things to Kirk. Kirk said some disrespectful things to him. I think he called him a bitch ass nigga, something like that. They was going at it, father and son. His son is 33 years old. But it did remind me of when you and Fifth was having a conversation, and it was a recording of that conversation that went out to the public. Did the Kirk Franklin thing give you deja vu?
Not at all, because I'm not 50's son. You dig?
Okay. I'm just saying. I don't mean that you his son. But you know where I'm coming from. I'm saying it's a private conversation that was recorded.
That part of it, of course, but and that wasn't no. You know, just I get exactly where you're coming from.
Right.
When I spoke in regards to that phone call that he recorded years ago, all right, it was me being truthfully about every fucking word you hear, every tear that probably sounded like, or the cracking in my voice. Shout out to Big U. It was Big U just trying to tap in real quick. Soon I finish if you're watching this or whatever. But you know, the phone call 50 recorded years ago, I mean, it was one of those things where I became emotional in that phone call because it was exactly what it was. It wasn't me trying to hide or not show my emotions. For one, if I knew the nigga was recording the call, it wouldn't have been no fucking different. because a man show emotion or shed tears, I ain't lesser than no motherfucking real nigga behind the fact of me showing my emotional side to you. Every man got one, whether he choose to show it or hide it. I just wear my heart on my sleeve at times. And at that time, I was wearing it on my sleeves. And I tell you exactly why. Because I had made a decision. 50 had gave us basically a decision to have to make. When I say us, meaning me, Lloyd Banks, and Tony Yayo. And it was based upon his issues that he had at the time with Sha Money. Okay, Sha Money at that time was considered 50 Cent's best friend. But I was Sha Money's best friend as well. I'm the best man on Sha Money's wedding at that goddamn time. We were damn near more in sync than him and 50 was. But whatever their misunderstanding was about, 50 basically left me, Banks, and Yayo under the notion of y'all need to find new management. I ain't rocking with the nigga Shy no more. This is right in the middle of a couple weeks before fucking Buck the World 2 is to be released. I wasn't aware of whatever issues that 50 had with Shy Money or what they beef was about. And to this very day, you know, I hear different shit. It was about money or whatever. I ain't never heard nothing from Shy Money what they issues was about. And I'll leave it on that note. You dig what I'm saying? But at that time, I made the decision to stay and rock with Shy Money. You understand? Because that's the only manager that I know. He's the one who helped create not just my albums or the energy of what was going on, but Shy Money played a big key part to fucking G Unit. So him telling me to get rid of Shy Money was more than just, yo, I ain't fucking with you no more. As well, like I say, I'm the best man on his wedding at that time. We rock out like strong brothers. You dig? So
are y'all still cool to this day, you and Sha Money?
I don't have an issue with Sha. I haven't spoken to Sha, you know, in a long time. Last time I spoke to Sha Money was in regards to me going back to G Unit. And he had other opportunity for me at that time. But I made the decision of going back and being a part of G Unit. And from there, I don't know and don't know to this day if him and 50 has ever ironed their situation out. But I do know it led to Shy Night not really reaching out or kind of us having a relationship like we was having. And but in regards to the phone recorded conversation, once I made that decision to rock with Shy, Banks kind of went his own way and stayed rocking, you know, I guess kind of got away from Shy or whatever. Yayo did the same. And I stayed there 10 toes down with Shy. And the resentment started. You know, that's when you started going around that period of time when, you know, they were going and doing shows without me. So the question started getting raised, what's up with Buck? Where's he at? And it would happen with me in interviews and shit. And I would say, of course, it's in-house business, so I would hide a lot of the shit and say shit like our schedule's just different. You dig what I'm saying? But technically, the resentment was there. 50 wasn't fucking with me or Shy. So we was left to put the Buck the World project together, just the two of us. It was all in our hands. And honestly, man, I hadn't spoken to 50 for 8 or 9 months. And that phone call that he recorded was the first phone call that I've had with 50 since I spoke with 50 9 months after, since he told me to get rid of Shy Money. What's crazy about it all is that conversation that he recorded, I was sitting in the van with Shy Money. I was talking on Shy Money's phone. You dig what I'm saying? Shy had got to a place where the separation was weighing in on him and me. So Shy was like, yo, you and 50 got to iron this shit out. Y'all need to talk or what or whatnot. And I'm cool. I'm like, let's do it. And the conversation is what you got. But the key of that conversation is the last words that he left me on. And those last words was, okay, we're going to get this shit right. And from that point, we started to get shit right. That's when we started to rock out. Hold up. That's when we started to rock out and start pushing. Hold up. Yeah. That's when we started to push again, you know. And from there, you know, that's when an interview that I had previous done spoke on me not never seeing a royalty check. And honestly, that's what ended up relighting the flame. Because once that interview came around, even though we started pushing and getting things back and shit, 50 took that personally when I spoke on that and started saying things like I've made over $10 million in my career and jacked it off and things like that. But all of that's bullshit. All of those things that he was once speaking on in regards to that shit was just about him, I guess, trying to protect the fact of what was supposed to, I guess, be my way. But I never seen $10 million or had or grossed $10 million throughout my career being amongst G Unit to ever jack that kind of money off. But that's one of the things that I had to fight in regards of what he spoke on and said. So you know, that emotional conversation that people hear, just know that it wasn't put out from a perspective of him recording me and put the shit out. No, he recorded that conversation, held it. And once we had issues, then from something that I had recorded and did way years earlier, he came right back and put that out in a way of trying to discredit me by, I guess, showing my emotional side. But, you know, even that shit I feel like backfired in his face. It was one of them things like, you know, you wrong for recording your homeboy. It was more like a police tactic type of thing that a lot of people looked at it as.
You definitely came off with as the sympathetic person. I remember that people was like, "Damn, we feel bad for Buck, man. That's happening, man." Well, you know, as one of the major, not just a guy who covered G Unit, but just a guy, just a fan of all of the music, all of the volumes. You know, I remember Nelson giving me a box set of about 8 CDs of all of y'all mixtape stuff. And you know, I used to drive down to Virginia from New York and back, just listening to the whole thing, man. I really hope that y'all brothers could get it together, do one more run, because I ain't gonna lie, music has missed G Unit in a major way.